Hey, so we're back in the shop. We're gonna pick up on this 2000 model. It's a F350 Super Duty Ford. Got 7.3 Power Stroke diesel in it. If you remember from the first video, we had a problem with the oil being contaminated with diesel fuel. And so we kind of figured it's probably a injector problem. Took the valve covers off, started pulling the injectors out. If you remember, we found a bent push rod and a broke push rod on cylinder number 7. So today we're going to pick up with just doing a little investigation there on cylinder number 7 and see if we can determine if the lifters are good. Picked up some push rods this morning, drop a couple new push rods in there and turn it over and see what we can figure out, and we'll go from there. So y'all come on, we'll get started. I'm going to try again, see if I can get a shot down this hole back here and see if I can see that lifter. I've got the rocker arms off. Problem is I get in the way of the light. So this is a shot with the phone camera looking down the back push rod hole. That little sharp piece you see sticking out there was the head gasket. This is the front push rod hole. Alright, so what you're looking at here, I can get you in here. This little deal right here is actually the little hold down or hold in place deal that slides on the end of the lifter and keeps it from rotating. So these have got roller lifters on it. It's got a roller on the bottom, and so that keeps it. So actually we're turned a little bit like the thing runs front to back. So this little part here runs over to the other lifter on the back there. And this lifter actually looks pretty good. Little clip still in there. Don't look like anything's flew apart on it. Also, let me see if I can find the other little flashlight here. What one did with it. If you look down in one of these holes here, if you can see the that guide that the push rod goes through is actually a part of the head gasket. So the head gasket just extends on out there and has that hole in it that the push rod goes through. I don't know if it's supposed to be a guide or what. Kind of resembles a guide. Let's get a little better shot with this bore scope here of the, if you can see around that right there is that head gasket, and this little piece right here is broke out of it from where it bent that push rod. So that's kind of that little guide that's made into the head gasket there. Like I said, I don't believe that's a big deal. And you can see that hole down going over to the other lifter over there. I may see if I can get down in that back slot and check it out a little further too. Okay, so right here is that back lifter. It looks pretty good too. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I got 2 new push rods here. I'm going to put them push rods back in that back cylinder back there. You can see I've also got the rocker arm assemblies off there. Put that back together, pull that up on top dead center, and bolt those down. So I got one of these new push rods here. You'll notice it's got a silver ball on one side and brass on the other. That brass one goes toward the top. Rocker arm sits on it, and this end goes on the lifter. So I dropped this push rod in the hole. I'm using the camera here to kind of make sure that I'm lined up with the lifter down there and that it's sitting on the lifter before I hook the rocker arm to it. And we'll come back and check it when we get her hooked up. I'll take you in here and show you we got these push rods installed here. See if I can zoom in a little bit. See that brass part on the top, and those other ones there also have the brass on the top. So got both of those on there. So I'm gonna bring you back in here. So you can see that puddle right there. That's basically diesel fuel and oil that has come out of that back cylinder back there. I put the flashlight here. I put the rocker arms back on it and was turning the engine over, see if I could check the valves, see if there's opening there, and make sure I have them push rods back on. Trying to get my wrench on down here. Jeez Louise. So that cylinder was plumb full. And that push rod's coming up. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, why didn't that thing hydrolock it got that much stuff in that cylinder? Well, I don't think it had all that in that cylinder before we pull the injectors and stuff out. So you got that bottom part of the injector where the fuel goes on the fuel rail that's made through the block. And then the upper part of the injector is that oil chamber where that high pressure oil pump pumps oil through there to fire it. So we did try to drain that oil and stuff out, because we couldn't drain none of the fuel out, but did try to drain some of that oil out of that chamber up there on the top, and so we wouldn't have so much going down in the cylinders. But if you think about it, that motor's sitting there at an angle. It's usually a little lower toward the back of the cab than it is the front. And so anything that we had in either one of those chambers has run back here to that back cylinder. And there probably was some fuel left over in there from where that injector had been squirting fuel in there, and neither one of them valves was open because it didn't have any push rods on it. But all of that fluid that we've pushed out in the floor could not have been in that cylinder when it was running. Otherwise, we wouldn't have no rod there anymore. Well, it would have locked up, okay? So, show you something here in a minute. I got a little idea. Drop down in there to check our cylinder and make sure that our piston's coming up to the top and that we ain't really boogered up something in that cylinder there. So get way back with you here in just a minute. All right, so I got me a redneck rod checker here. You see that mark on that wire right there. Let me see if I can hold you in place right there while I turn this. Okay, it should be going down. No, not yet. Let's sit this back down in here and turn this thing around a little, and you can watch it go away since it's on top dead center. You see it going down into the bore. So I'll insert a couple of clips here. This is on cylinder 2, it's the easiest one to get to over here. I'll insert a couple of clips on cylinder 7 on the other side, which is one we had a question about, and also cylinder 3 as a comparison. And of course we can compare this one to it as well. So I compared cylinder 2, cylinder 3, and cylinder 7, rotating them around the top dead center. And they all seem to come out pretty similar, so it looks pretty good on the rod situation. Okay, so all that did for us is just verify that cylinder 7, that the piston is coming up and down, don't have a broke rod or anything like that. And just by putting those marks on that wire and checking it with a couple of different cylinders, it just let us know that it's pretty much at the same spot to look at. So I'm over here by the work table, got set up and started cleaning up these injectors and putting the new seals on them. Let me flip you around here and show you what we got so far. So I got 7 out of the 8 all cleaned up. Got the new seals on them. I'll video this one right here just in a second. So these are the new seals, a little brass thing, all the way up to the little ring on the top. I got this one cleaned up and ready to go. We'll film it here in a minute. And looking at these, I don't know if you can see it or not, but right in here, there is some engraving on them, and 7 of them have, let's see if I can read what it says there. It's DCP. Most of them have like 249119. I ain't got a clue what that means. This one is a different brand than everything else, and it's got no inscription on it, so they probably had to replace one of them. So I don't know if these were rebuilt in 2019. I know it wasn't 24 because I think my boys had this truck longer than that. So probably hadn't been that long since they'd been serviced. So maybe our problem is just those push rods on that cylinder over there. We'll get these back together and get them in there and find out though. Let me flip around here and get you set up. We'll see if we can put seals on this last one. Well, it's gonna be interesting, but we'll give it a shot. So I'm gonna try to hold this thing right here where you can kind of see what's going on. I'll get you just a smidge lower there. And working out too good. We'll deal with it. So the first thing going on there is this little ring. Looks about like a piston ring, and it goes down here in this top groove. So what I've been doing on those, I've got a pair of snap ring pliers here. Let me get out here a little further. I don't know if you can see this or not, but trying to put the snap rings in there, twist them just a little bit, and my big finger's in the way. Pull it open, slide it down. I just got to get over 2 notches. That last one, we'll actually put it on there just like a piston ring. Alright, that's got it down to the last little slot. Let's see if I can work this in right here where you can see it. So just pop this, right there where the little crack is. Just pop that down on there and just walk it around, just like you would a piston ring. Alright, good deal. Now the next one, this little ring is flat. It's an O-ring, but it's flat. And it goes over this first part pretty easy. And you don't want to roll these, keep them straight. And I managed to do all them other ones without rolling. It goes right around just about like putting a piston ring on. So it's got them little white marks on it there. When you get it on there, where you can kind of know that you didn't roll it. Alright, we got one more that's going in that slot. And it's kind of got a blue or purple tint. They call it blue on the little instruction that comes with the O-rings. But it ain't really blue. It pops on there pretty easy too. I don't know if you can see, but it's kind of sticking up a little bit. So you don't want to roll it all the way around, because then you'll have a bunch of slack in one spot. So we'll just kind of push it in all the way around. And then once you get it pushed in, you can kind of roll it and that's all there is to that. This next one, this pink one's probably the hardest one. It's got a little groove on the inside of it. It's O-ring. So I've been setting them on there, pulling them down to this first little notch right here, and taking my little pick, putting it in that notch, because it's easy to get in there behind that. And if I can pull it over to one side and get it started, and then work it around just like that, it snaps right in there. Sorry, I don't know how much that you've seen. I was watching what I was doing instead of watching what I was filming. And the little the orange one, it ain't got yanking stuff off in the floor. It ain't too bad. Well, I said it wouldn't. It'll be hard to put on because I said it was easy. you. There we go. Just gonna push them down, make sure they ain't rolled. And the last thing, I've got this little brass washer that goes on the top right here. And I've got a low socket right here set on top of it. Just give her a little tap. And there you go. Done deal. Got all the seals on them. Now this is just the external seals. There's seals inside as well, and shims up here on the top for that little solenoid thing. I pop it. There's like I think 49 pieces of this thing if you took it all apart. But we're gonna hope for the best that this is gonna get it. So I'm gonna throw this one back on the table, and I have to go over there and clean out the bore that these set in. I've got some brushes and stuff, and we want to clean it up, like where these O-rings have been sitting. You can actually see a little color in there. I might just take you over there and video that. Right here's the bores I was talking about. Kind of look down in there, you can see the pink off of that one O-ring there. I don't think you can really see any off of that blue on the top. And I mean, it looks fairly clean down in there, but we got these brushes, and take that brush and brush all that out. Get it cleaned up. Got a smaller one here that gets all the way down to the bottom there, so we can kind of roll that around, clean that out, and we take a rag or something, stick down in there, make sure she's all good and cleaned out. And one more thing I wanted to show you here. I just set them glow plugs up and stuck those old O-rings on it as I was taking them off. There were several of them had this little stringy deal here. That's the one that's under that ring up there at the top, so it kind of wore on it. But the rest of the O-rings look pretty good. This was the only one that really I had a question about. This O-ring right here was broke, but that is the one also that's way up there on the top. And I don't really think we would have had fuel leaking up on that one, even if it was bad. Which you could see the crack in it, and the crack was right where the crack was on the metal ring too. So, and I don't know if you can see the tip of that injector's blued. It looked like it'd been firing hotter than the rest of them for some reason. So anyway, just want to share that with you. Be back in a second. Got quite a bit done here that I didn't film. So we're going to take you in here in just a second and look at what we've got done up to this point. Had a little bit of issue with storage on my phone. Had to get some videos off of it. Got a few videos that's not been released yet. Taking up a lot of space. And so kind of working on a little bit of this IT stuff that I'm not used to. And my granddaughter Katie come over and helped me yesterday. Shout out to her. Thanks a bunch. But getting back to this 7.3 diesel. Let me turn you around here and I'll show you what we've got going on up to this point. So I went ahead and put the valve covers back on there, but they're not bolted down. I just put a couple of bolts down there on the bottom just to kind of hold them in place so I could turn this engine around and blow all that extra fuel and diesel out of the cylinder through the glow plug hole. And I didn't want to, it'd have been dramatic to film that blowing everywhere, but I didn't want to have to clean it up. So I just put that cover on there so that it wouldn't spit it everywhere. And I don't know if I said it, but I put all the injectors back in. I was going to film a little bit of the installation of that, but you can go on YouTube and Google that if you want to find out how to put an injector in. It ain't that bad. It's not real easy, but a few other things that I did. I took this. Yeah, I can't see that one. The plug's in the way. Let's walk over here to the other side. You can kind of see it right here. Right down in here, I took that plug out right there and filled that channel up. This whole big hump part right here is an oil channel for the high pressure oil pump. Fill that up on both sides, put those plugs back in, come up here on this reservoir on the front and took this deal out right here and filled that up as well. Those two channels in that pump took a full gallon of oil to fill them back up. Also took this off, cleaned out the, replaced the filter, cleaned all that out while I had the filter out. I wish I'd got a shot of that, but again, my phone was down, so I didn't have access to get that, but it's all cleaned up. Filled that back up with fuel. Also put some of that fuel dye in there and cleaned the batteries up and put them back on. Got a little issue with this terminal right here. We'll deal with that later. For now, I just put a pair of vice grips on there. It's cracked on that side right over there. And had both of them charged up. Got in the truck and turned it over quite a bit last night. Put the batteries back on charge, and they're still topping off there now. So what I'm gonna do this morning, I'm gonna take them valve covers back off and get you set up here where we can watch these rocker arms. I'm gonna turn it over, particularly on that passenger side over there, that cylinder number 7 on the back. I wanna make sure that those valves are opening and closing and the push rods are staying on there, and all that good stuff. And it'll turn real easy without the push rods in there. And the more we turn it, the better, because that will prime that high pressure oil pump and get all that back, and hopefully get fuel through that. So we don't have this plug plugged up, and of course the master plug is not plugged up. It's laying right down here. So when we turn it over, it's just going to be turning the engine, and just for the purpose of looking at those push rods and stuff and kind of refilling that oil channel and make sure all that's good. It's not going to try to fire the injectors or anything like that. So let me get you set up and we'll go from there. A little bit of change of plans here. I forgot about how much oil was going to have in that crankcase, so I thought we might need to get a little bit of it out here. So I got a Harbor Freight pump here and a thing you can stick down the tube. Let me just turn around here and show you what I got. So I've got this little old pump set up here, and it's got this little old tube that goes down in the oil stick, where you dipstick where you check the oil, and got it run down into this bucket here. So when I pump this thing up, a stroke or two on it. It actually will collapse this whole line right here. That oil is pretty thick, and see if I can get a shot of what's coming down. It's draining down into this bucket here, so it's probably going to take a minute. And so I may just set you up on a time lapse here, get this oil pumped out and get set up. I went ahead and stuck this level up here to hold this water jacket pipe up out of the way, where we can get a shot of those rocker arms and stuff here in a minute. But there is a shot of all the injectors that we've got put back in there. So got the other side valve cover off as well. All those injectors are in. Got all these bolts are torqued here, and that little discharge tube thing for the oil there, got it torqued in. So all these are ready to go. So we may time lapse here a minute and then get back on this. So. Well, that was about a pain. That tube is just a little old bitty thing that goes down in that dipstick tube here. So it takes a long time to get oil out. And then when you go to disconnect it and put everything up, it spills oil all over the floor. I had to clean that mess up so I didn't slip and bust my butt here in a minute. So I'm gonna get you set up on the tripod here, and we'll try to video turning this engine over and see if we can see if those push rods and valve train's doing what's supposed to do on cylinder 7, as well as the rest of them. So hang on here and we'll get set up. Everything seemed to be working like it's supposed to, so I'm gonna set you back up on time lapse here. I'm gonna get these new glow plugs out and get them installed, and I may go ahead and put the valve cover gaskets and the wiring harness back on there and plug all that stuff back up. I'm gonna leave the valve covers off, I think, for right now, and we'll turn it over a little bit more, see if we can get it to light off. I'd like to run it, actually have it running with the valve covers off, and be able to see what's going on there and run it for a few minutes, make sure those push rods are going to stay on, see what it sounds like, see if that cylinder's firing like it's supposed to. We need to look at those injectors, see if we're getting any of that dye showing up anywhere, make sure we ain't got any leaks. And I mean, hopefully the thing fires up, we don't have any leaks and it sounds good, and we'll be able to put this thing back together. Other than a few other items that we'll have to change the oil completely when we get it fired up and get it going. We'll drain it out and put fresh oil, fresh filter on it, make sure we got all that diesel fuel out of it. We still may take that radiator and intercooler out, clean that intercooler and put it all back on there. So there's quite a bit of work still to do, but we've got a lot done so far. So hang on, we'll go a little further and see what we can get into. First off, I don't know if you saw it on the video, I brought my Portaband over here. I had to make me a little bit of a specialty tool. So this is a 10mm deep well socket, and a quarter inch drive. So you need that 1/4 inch to be able to get down in there beside the, let me get a flashlight, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. To be able to get down in there beside that glow plug and the rocker arm. If you can see this, let me get you where we at here. Bad boy is right down in there. So when you put that socket on there, the top of this right here, if you got the full size socket, gets caught on the rocker arm. And either you can't get it on it to tighten it down, or the trouble I had when I was taking them off is I would loosen them up and it would hit that rocker arm, and it was a pain to get out of there. So I was thinking I'll just make me a specialty socket. So I found an old one in the bucket over here, cut a 1/2 inch off of it, and it worked beautiful. You can just stick that thing right down in there and get it started. So if you ever work on one of these, that shorten your socket up is well worth the time and money. And I left my good one in the pack over there. So another thing, I got these Fel-Pro valve cover gaskets here. I've been using Fel-Pro brand for years and years, and they've always been good products. These are reusable, and so I went ahead and plugged this other wiring harness on here, and I got looking. This one right here's got made in China on the back of it. So I went through and inspected it real good. I didn't see anything on those wires that looked cracked or frayed or anything. So they look good, and so I'm gonna put them back on there and put them back in service. I try to get Motorcraft, like these are the glow plugs, the gasket set that we had. I don't know if I showed you it or not, but it was Motorcraft, and got a Motorcraft oil filter and a Motorcraft fuel filter that we already put on there. So trying to use the good stuff so we don't have any issues with it. Sometimes you can get some cheaper stuff, but then you have quality problems with the material. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this, and I did go ahead and not only get the glow plugs in there, but I got them torqued as well. So we're good to go on that. We'll go ahead and throw this valve cover gasket on this side over here. And of course these plug into the injectors. This little white one goes in the glow plug. So we'll go through and get all them connected and get our wiring harness connected back up. And then we'll go from there. Just wanted to give you an update. I did not expect that thing to crank that easy. 12 seconds she fired. So I got the exhaust run out the door. Still says she's smoking. Yeah, that's why we ran it out the door. Get this fan over here and keep that blue. Sorry about that. There's the fan up there in the door. That ain't working. Well, a lot better than blowing it out everywhere in here. So all in all, that wasn't bad at all. So refilling that oil channel and refilling that reservoir on the high pressure oil pump was definitely the way to go. And after I changed that fuel filter and filled that back up, oh, that's another thing, I need to grab a black light and make sure we don't have any fuel leaking up here. But as you can see, we ran it a little bit, didn't run it too long because radiator's dry, the hoses ain't even hooked up, belt ain't on it. So it ran, revved up and stuff pretty good. Just idling, it's still a little bit rough, but we ain't got nothing hooked up. I mean, as far as the vacuum and the cold air intake, so the CPU ain't reading what it's supposed to be reading. So, all right, well, I'm gonna turn this off and kind of look over this a little bit and decide what I'm gonna do next as far as go ahead and get the valve covers back on it, get that, at least that much of it buttoned up, and we'll decide which way to go after this. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this video out. We'll try to pick back up, I guess, with that dye and the fuel and the black light test there, make sure we ain't got any fuel leaks there, and get under the hood there while she's running and check it out. And so appreciate you watching. And if you got any questions or comments, put them in the comment there. I'd like to hear from you. I was watching that last little clip there just a second ago, and I was thinking, got that level propped up under the hood. If you got a question about what are you doing, put it in the comment, I'll answer it. I had the hood propped up because I had the battery charger and LED light hanging from the hood, which is hanging there just fine as long as it wasn't running. You crank up that old vibrating diesel and the hood closes, hit me in the head. So that ain't in the video. So I have edited out a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of hours in this 30-minute video. So I appreciate you guys watching, and spread the word. Get it out there. Channel's growing, and we sure appreciate y'all watching. I'll see you next time.